welcome to what's going to be my first YouTube video. I hope the audio is not terrible. I don't have mics and I'm using a GoPro, so hopefully it's not too bad. But yeah, you know, I was going for a cruise and I thought, well, might as well make a video just introducing who I am and what kind of car I have, what's done to it, and why I bought it. So my name's Eric. I have a 2013 ZL1. It's got Rohana wheels, it's on BMR lowering springs, long tube headers, and cold air intake, and a tube. But yeah, you know, I had multiple cars before this, all Camaros, which is pretty funny. Everybody's like, what the hell, why do you keep getting the same car over and over? And it's honestly because I really love the car. Like it's been my dream car since I was a kid, since I first saw it in the first Transformers movie. It was the first car I fell in love with, and I decided, well, hey, you know, that's the car I want when I grow up. And lucky for me, I was able to get it. But yeah, you know, I've had the first one I had was a 2010 RS. I had that one for like 4 months. It was probably a pretty impulsive purchase. I probably should have just put a deposit on an SS, which is what I did later. Well, not even that long later. Literally 4 months after I had that car, I traded that to get a 2010 SS. Yeah, it would have been way smarter to just get the SS to begin with. But you know, I had that car for 4.5 years, and yeah, I had a lot of fun with that car. Only thing that sucks is it wasn't automatic. Back when I was younger, I was a little scared to actually get a manual car. You know, I was like, oh, what if I break it? You know, it's gonna be expensive to fix and all that. But you know, now having a manual car, it's like, well, I was kind of dumb back then. Like, it was the easiest thing ever to drive. But you know, you gotta learn from your mistakes. But yeah, I had that one for 4 years. Then unfortunately, it had a lifter issue. Lifter literally blew up. I had to take the engine apart, and everyone was telling me, oh, you don't gotta do that, you don't gotta do that. But there was literally pieces of the lifter in the entire engine. There were some in the oil pan, some in the cylinder sleeves. Like, it was bad. Luckily, like, the engine didn't get messed up or anything. But yeah, after that happened, I had planned to build a LSX motor. You know, I was gonna aim for like 700 NA. I was gonna manual swap the car. I was gonna do so much stuff, but then, you know, looking at the price of everything, I was all like, well, I could do all that. It's gonna take me maybe 2 years, 3 years to finish the build, or I could just use that money and buy a ZL1. And you know, me being very impatient, I was like, well, fuck it, let's get a ZL1. So I did, and I got a 2013 ZL1. I'm coming up to having it almost for a year now. I bought it last year in March, and right now it's January of the next year. But yeah, you know, I've had a lot of fun with this car. Honestly, there's been moments where I do regret buying it, but then there's other moments where I don't. You know, it's always the thought of like, hey, you know, this is an investment. You know, a ZL1's more, I guess, rare than an SS, specifically the 5th gens. So I was like, well, you know, if I have it, you know, if I ever want to sell it, it won't depreciate as much as an SS would. So yeah, I had it. I've taken it to a lot of places. I've put a lot of miles on it already, not even owning it for a year yet. I think I bought it with 10,000 miles. Right now I'm at 22,626. So I've put 12,000 miles, nearly 13,000 miles in less than a year. So you can clearly tell I really like driving this car. I did take it to Tail of the Dragon. It was fun, you know. Unfortunately, it didn't go exactly how I wanted it to go. I did get into a little bit of an accident. Luckily, the car was fine. It was just a couple bent control arms. Replaced those. It was fine after that. But yeah, the car's been really fun. I do have a lot of plans for it for this year, so hopefully those go well and I'm able to get those done. Let me just scoot over to this side. But yeah, the car's been a lot of fun for these past months. But yeah, there was mainly like 5 reasons that I got it. So I'm kind of gonna make this into a video of like, if you're debating about getting one, you know, I'm gonna give you like 5 reasons as to why I got it, and maybe it'll help you decide whether you want to get one or not. You know, it's completely up to you. But first reason being the price. Honestly, the price that I got this for the amount of miles it had, like it was amazing. Like I don't think I could have found another performance car that offers everything that this car offers for the same price. Like honestly, it's such a bargain, these cars, which is why I'm always like, everybody sleeps on them, and it's like, why do you guys sleep on them? Like, they're such good cars. Like, for the price that you're getting it at, it's almost supercar level. I'm not saying my car's a supercar, but like it gives close performance to like a supercar, and it just shocks me that so many people don't want them. But yeah, the price that I got this for was just amazing. I couldn't pass it up. It was such a bargain. Second reason being, I mean, it's an LSA. It's already supercharged. I know I said I wanted to do NA on the engine I was gonna build, but eventually I was gonna boost that one as well. And you know, when I was looking at this, I was like, well, you know, it's already boosted. If I ever want to, like, you know, get more power, I can always, you know, put a different supercharger, or I can port this one. You know, it'd be just so much easier having a car that's already supercharged than to have to go through the effort of supercharging the other one. But that was another reason. I mean, especially the engine that just has the LSA, you know, LSs being bulletproof, as everybody knows. Even though I know some people don't agree with that, but you know, other than the lifter, which was honestly my fault. Like it was my fault that it broke. Like I know it wasn't the engine's fault. Like it was my negligence that caused that lifter to go. But yeah, you know, these engines are bulletproof. Like they're so easy to work on. They have so much aftermarket support, and then the aftermarket support isn't that expensive. Like it's I'm not gonna say it's cheap, but you know, it's decently priced. But it's not like super duper expensive where you gotta like sell your kidney or something to modify these cars. And then even with just slight modifications, these cars make so much power. Like already this one, all I really have, I mean, I don't really want to count the cold air intake, because I mean it doesn't really do anything. But literally all this car has is headers, and it's making 560 to the wheel. Like that's a lot of power. I know a lot of people are like, oh, 1,000 horsepower, that's, if you don't have 1,000, you know, you're slow, your car's super slow or whatever. But no, like 560 horsepower, that's a lot of power, especially for a lot of people who don't know how to handle it. It's a lot. That's another reason I got it. You know, just the engine is so easy to work on, and I've obviously I was already familiar with the engine, so I didn't want to get something that I was like, oh well, I don't know what I gotta do. You know, it's just so easy to work on. You know, they're pretty self-explanatory, and then it literally bolts up. And anything really bolts up with any LS. So if you need anything, you can get it from another engine, and that's honestly something that just really appeals to me in a car that I want to get. Like I want to make sure it's easy to work on. I don't want to be looking through like 20-year-old forums to find an issue, or to try and fix an issue that the car has, because you know nobody knows how to work on them and stuff like that. But yeah, that's just one of the big reasons that I got this car specifically. Third reason being that I got this, I don't want to say it's a rare car, but I know it'll be more sought after than if I had kept the SS. You know, obviously I love that car. I had it for 4 years and everything, and I debated so long whether I was gonna get this or not. I asked my friends what they thought, and they told me that you know, it'd be better off in the long run to just get this car. You know, it'll be worth the investment of having it instead of spending all the money on a SS to you know, try and even get close to the performance of this thing, especially the handling on this. Oh my god, it's so amazing. When we were at Tail of the Dragon, you know, going through those curves and stuff, like there were so many moments where I was like, oh, you know, there's no way this car can go that fast on this corner, but it just took it like a champ. there was when we first got there, it was me and my buddy who were taking the turns first to get to our cabin. I was in front of him, he was behind me. He has a 2013 or 14 Mustang Roush, and he has more power than me. He has like 620. But yeah, we were going through the turns and stuff. You know, he was keeping up with me at first, but eventually I was gone. Like I looked back and I just didn't see him there anymore. I had gotten to the cabin, and he literally maybe like 10 minutes later he showed up, and I was like, dude, were you like on it? Like, were you flooring it, or did you slow down eventually? And he's like, no man, like I was trying to keep up with you and everything. And I was like, wow, that's crazy. Like, the handling on this thing is beyond what I thought it would be. Like, I thought, since I had the SS, I was like, oh, you know, it'll probably be similar, because the SS I had taken to the tail before, the year before, and I was like, oh, it'll probably, you know, perform the same. It's not gonna be like a major difference. But wow, the Magna Ride that this has, like, that alone was worth it. I was just amazed with like the fact of it being like, you could, if you want to go in touring mode, like right now I'm in touring mode, I don't feel any bumps. It's a nice smooth ride. But if I want to get good performance, I want to feel everything on the road, put it in sport mode, boom, I'm already feeling everything. It's just, I find it so wild that technology like this exists. Like, it's just so crazy. That was another main reason that I got it. Reason number 4 was the fact that this was already a manual. I know I said the other one I wanted to manual swap it and all that, but I just know that, oh god, it would have been probably super difficult to just figure out, you know, how to make a manual work. I know I've seen people do it, and they've all said that it's a super tedious job. Like, you got to take out the entire dash. If you don't want to buy an extra like piece for the firewall, you got to cut the firewall and all that. And I was just like, man, it would have been cool to, like, you know, build the car and be like, hey, you know, I built the car, this and that. But it just would have been way too much time and effort for something that where I was just like, well, this already has the manual, you know, I won't ever have to worry about that. And in the future, if I really want to, I can build this engine as well. Like, it would have just, it just seemed like the smarter decision to do. Like, it was just a lot simpler and just more logical to do, to just buy this instead of, you know, trying to manual swap that thing. Which, you know, maybe in the future I'll get maybe like a 2nd gen or 3rd gen Camaro, and then I'll completely build that like crazy and stuff, because I have thought about that. I've also thought about getting a RX-7, not the FD but the FC, and doing an LS swap on that, you know, making that a crazy car, maybe a drift car, which, you know, I have to see what the future holds. You know, right now I'm pretty happy with this car. You know, I'm not bored or anything of it, so until I get bored of it, then I'll decide whether I'll do something crazy like that. And the 5th reason that I got this car, I mean, this is just personal bias, but, you know, I grew up watching Transformers a lot, and I saw Bumblebee. You know, everybody loved Bumblebee, and I saw the car and I was just like, wow, like that is such a good looking car. Like, I need that car when I'm older. Like, it's a car that I need. It's just a car I've always loved. You know, I've only ever had good things, good memories, besides obviously the lifter failing. But besides that, you know, I've only ever had good things to ever say about the car. I've never had any issues with it. Those are mainly like the 5 reasons. You know, I didn't write this down, so I know it's kind of all over the place, but you know, I'm just trying to think off the top of my head, you know, the reasons that I got it. But yeah, now I'm gonna go into what I got planned for this car. Since I didn't go with the other car, you know, I got a lot of plans for this car that I want to do this year. We're just gonna have to see how the year goes, and hopefully everything goes well and I'm able to do everything. But first things first, I am trying to get sway bars, end links, and subframe connector. I know this thing handles pretty good already, but you know, there's a bit of body roll I can feel, and I just want this thing to feel like super tight, and I don't want to feel any sort of body roll. I want to make this thing like a super duper track machine. You know, I want this thing to be like, I want people to be scared of this thing when I'm at the track. Yeah, you know, that's one of the big things. You know, I first when I was younger, I was more of a I was more into like drag racing and stuff, which is cool. It's cool. It's cool. It's in its own, you know, place where it is. You know, it's fine. But just not last year. Was it last year? I think it was 2 years ago. I had taken my car for the first time to track at a track near us. It's a country club, so it was like an event they were having, so that's the only time like I would have ever been able to take it to the track. But you know, I tracked it and I had so much fun. And then now that I have this one, I was like, well, this one was, I don't want to say it was designed for the track, but like, you know, this was like the first step into like GM making a like super crazy track car, or track Camaro specifically, you know. And I think they did well with it, you know. That's another reason why I want to go, because me and my friends want to go to Road of the Americas this year. So I want to make sure this thing can perform well. You know, I don't want to be falling behind in the pack. But yeah, that's one of the things I want to do. I am planning to get perhaps a custom APR wing. You know, I don't want to get a super tall wing. I know most people have super tall wings, but I don't think they look good on this generation. Like, I know the 6th gen has a pretty tall wing, and it looks pretty good on that one. I just think this one's still more of a muscly look, like it's boxy and stuff, so I don't think a really tall wing would look good. So I'm gonna get maybe like a medium-sized wing, you know. But that, you know, I just think with a medium-sized wing, it'll look good. It'll look mean. But yeah, that's another thing I want to get. I am getting the car wrapped. Well, I should be. Maybe within the next 2 months. Hopefully, if everything goes fine. I already have the film. I'm not gonna say what color it is. I'd rather wait till it's wrapped so you guys can see what color it is. But I think it's a really nice color. You know, my friend, some of my friends, they don't like it, but other ones, they're like, damn, yeah, that's gonna look sick. You know, I got something different, slightly different than what what my friends would want me to get. They wanted me to get like a blue or something. I was like, no, I don't. We have too many blue cars in our friend group. Like, there's so many blue cars, and I'm kind of sick of it. I'm like, oh my god, everybody's fucking blue. I just pick a different color. So I chose a color that I don't really see a lot in the streets or anything. You know, most people don't have it. But yeah, so that's another plan. Hopefully within like the next 2 months, getting that thing wrapped. I don't think I have other things I want for this year. I think those are like the main 3 I want to get done this year for sure. But I mean, I could go into like the future stuff. You know, eventually, obviously, I'm gonna want to cam the car. I'm gonna wanna do port the supercharger, do all that stuff. I did recently see, well, not recently, but I was recently reintroduced, or not reintroduced, I guess. I came across an old picture and old videos that I hadn't seen in a while of a 2013 Camaro GT3 race car, and I just saw how that thing looked, and I was like, wow, that thing is crazy. Especially the exhaust. I saw the exhaust coming out of the side on the fenders, and I was like, wow, that looks sick. You know, I kind of want that. That would be something different that no other. I know for a fact I haven't seen any other Camaro around here have anything like that. So I was like, damn, that'd be pretty sick if I was the only one who had like a fucking dumping out the fenders, the side exit exhaust. Like, that would be pretty sick. That's something like way down the future, because I'd probably have to get a custom shop to do it, and it probably is going to cost a lot of money. So that's something I'm not really worried about right now. But yeah, but yeah, those are the main things I want to do this year. The goal is to make this car beat my friend at the track. He has a C6. It's cammed. It's making around 500 to the wheel. So my goal is to at least beat him in the track in this thing, which I think it could do it. You know, I know it's faster in a straight line. We have raced it in a straight line, and my car is faster, even though he wants to say it's not, but it is. It's slightly faster, but you know, it's still quicker. But yeah, that's my main goal. I just want to be able to beat them at the track, because I feel like that would be pretty cool. You know, seeing a big. I mean, yeah, it's big. People say it's big. I don't think it's big. I'm a shorter dude. I'm 5'6", and I don't think this is a big car. I know a lot of people say they have problems seeing out of it, but I've never had an issue. I know there is a blind spot there, but I mean, if you have your mirror set up properly, that blind spot is literally like non-existent. Like, you could see everything. I mean, I can see everything perfectly fine right now. But yeah, that's one of my main goals. Just to track the car a lot this year. I just want to get like used to this power, used to knowing how to put it down, and not, you know, spinning out or anything like that. You know, I don't want to say I'm an amazing driver, but I think I'm a pretty good driver. You know, I know out of my friend groups, they're not going to agree, but I want to say I am the best driver in the group. Anytime we've gone go-karting or anything, you know, I've always beaten them. Or any like sim games we've played, I set a time and they always try and beat it, and they never can. So I know it's not the same as actually driving a car on a track, but I think, you know, translating some of the stuff from that, you know, it'll go through, you know, it'll translate somewhat, you know. But yeah, those are the main goals. Trying to think if there's anything else I want to talk about before I end this. No, I think that about covers everything I wanted to talk about. Yeah, so that's probably gonna be it for me in this video. You know, I know it's not the best, but you know, this is my first time. I'm still trying to figure out how to do stuff. You know, I know that the audio is not going to be great because it's going off the camera mic and not like an actual mic. I do have mics. I just don't know how to plug them into this, because I think the way I would plug them in, the battery is going to fall out at the same time. So I got to figure out a way around that. But yeah, that's probably going to do it for this video. thanks for watching. If you watch this long, oh, he's beeping at me. But yeah, I appreciate it. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, share. Anything would really help me out. Really, be really thankful for that. But yeah, I'm just gonna end the video here. I'll hopefully make another video soon. Probably. We'll see how stuff goes. But yeah, you know, I'll end it here. I'll see you guys in the next one.